well, obviously not the way we wanted to finish up the season, and it's never easy. Kids played their tails off, didn't give up at all. I think when most people thought, with the third string quarterback, we weren't gonna be able to take it down the field, we did. And comes down to the details, and you throw a pick in the red zone when you got a chance to at least tie it up and go overtime. You just got to protect the ball, make better decisions. But it hurt obviously when Nick Patty went down, and had a nice touchdown, scramble for a touchdown, but just not the way you wanted your seniors to go out. So I'll open it up for questions.
We'll go ahead first to Christopher Carter.
Pat, can you talk about what all went into the preparation for Davis? You go in the week, you guys talked a lot about how Nick was making a lot of things seamless, but I imagine there had to be a lot of preparation to put into Nick and not as much time to put into Davis. How did you think he responded to that challenge?
He did about as good as he could. Obviously, he got the 2 reps, and he got probably, I would say, 80% of the 2 reps. And you always got to prepare for the next guy too. So Joey Yellen got reps as well. It's hard. It's hard when you're preparing to have a backup that hadn't had a start. And I don't know how many, someone said 840 days since he started a game and played a bunch of reps. It obviously hurt when he went down, and our kids hung in there. And, we got a chance to win the ball game with, a minute to go in the game, or at least tie the ball game. We were just on the field too long defensively. We lost time possession by, over 10 minutes. I think it was just, a 16-play drive. I think, they had a 16-play to 13-yard play drive to get those last 2 touchdowns, which hurt. You hope your defense is going to stop them, but we just weren't fresh enough and didn't make enough plays on defense to get off the field. So, it's what it is.
Please raise your hand if you have a question. We'll go to Dan Tortora next.
Coach, just what you can say about Davis Bevel, just what he was able to do. I mean, looking at a third string quarterback who was able to lead you all the way down and get you in field goal range, and had completed all his passes up until that interception there on that drive. Just what he's done in this game to showcase what he can be.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't do a great job protecting him, in the third quarter, I don't think. We'll go back and look what happened there. So I wasn't happy, obviously, with the protection, what our O-line did. Until you watch the tape, you really don't know. But Davis did a great job. I mean, as good as you expect a third-team quarterback to do. Wasn't good enough to win the football game. But all our guys hung in there and played their tails off for him. And we just didn't make enough plays in all phases. So it doesn't ever lie with one guy or one quarterback. You need guys around you playing better. We didn't get that done today.
Go ahead, Johnny McGonigal.
Yeah, Pat, how big of a loss was it losing Izzy as well in the running game when you have a backup in Nick and then, a third stringer in Davis to be able to hopefully lean on a running game?
Yeah, we got, definitely banged up, and, Izzy was obviously a big part of the game plan. He's fast, he's physical, he's the starter, and, that didn't help us either. But again, Vince has had a ton of reps, and so has Rodney. So that's why you work them all year round. You never know when you're going to be down to one guy or 2 guys. So, that wasn't the factor. But obviously you'd like to see Izzy be able to finish the game.
We'll go to Chris Solari, followed by Alan Cole.
Hey, Pat, I'm wondering what you saw in that fourth quarter from Peyton Thorne and Jaden Reed in particular, and the plays those guys made in the passing game.
They made plays, and they converted, I think, 50% of third down, which is usually not us. We'll go back and look at the coverage, and maybe an exhausted secondary. I don't know. We'll look at it, but we didn't make enough plays back there. Obviously, not having Damari Mathis, it was a factor. I mean, he's your starting corner. He's your best corner. That was also a factor. So some younger guys were out there, and again, we'll look at we'll look at it. You look at whatever we held them to, 24 points. It was a solid day, but not good enough to win against a good team.
Go ahead, Alan.
At the end of a game like that, and after a season like this, it's been so historic for the program. What's the message to your team just kind of after the way it ended like that?
It's never easy. I mean, at the end, it won't be easy, for 2 teams, tomorrow when we're playing in a playoff game, someone's going to lose, and you have a great season like that and get to the playoffs. So it's never easy. But we got a lot coming back, and, we'll be looking, we'll start to work tomorrow towards an ACC championship for next year. And that's the goal. That's the standard that we have. And, it's not easy, but that's the ball game. And, we haven't lost for a while, and our kids have a lot of confidence. So it hurts, they're hurting there. They're frustrated, and a lot of tears in that locker room. So they care and they fought.
Good. Christopher Carter.
Hey, Pat, just wanted to talk about the defense. You mean they put on an inspired performance early on, getting a touchdown, creating turnovers, but you saw late in there, like you were talking about, it looked like they were able to connect on some, but it seemed like a lot of theirs were tight throws into tight coverages. MJ was up on his man. The touchdown to Hayward was between two guys. Did you feel like it was more of like just they were making great plays, or were there communication breakdowns that you thought were happening?
There was one communication when Hayward caught a ball out in the flats where we were playing man free. So that's the only one miscommunication. Safety gave him the wrong call. And that was the one miscommunication. But again, you give them credit. They made, Hayward had a heck of a catch in the end zone, and it was a heck of a throw and catch on the end. And, you got a guy in coverage, you got to make a play. That's what it comes down to. You got to make a play. And, MJ's hurt in there as well. But he'll only get better, for 2022.
Go ahead. Back to Dan Tortora.
Coach, just what you can say, you made a mention on the way to, fighting for another ACC championship. You've had 2 shots at the ACC championship in the last few seasons and got your first for Pittsburgh this year. Just what you can say about where this team is, where the state of the program is, that you're vying for ACC championships and you're able to reel one in this year.
Yeah, Dan. I mean, like I said to the team afterwards, I'd love every one of those guys in there. They fought their tails off. I'd go to war with them any day. There's never been any quit. And, that's the plan. It takes years to get what we got, and we got a championship. Now we got to try for a repeat. So we got a good football team. We got a lot of guys coming back, and we'll just work on the next.
Jerry DePaula, go ahead.
Pat, could you share with us the nature of Nick's injury?
Yeah, I guess the season's over. Broke a collarbone, and which is our 3rd one this year. Just freak accident, I guess. I mean, that's what happens when you hit the ground a little bit odd. He'll get that fixed tomorrow, and he wanted to go back and play, and it was like, our doctors weren't going to let that happen.
He's going to have surgery then?
Yes, Jerry. I'll give that to you at the end, Mr. Injury.
Chris Peak.
You talked about some of the younger players, maybe some guys you got to look at. Deion Hayes had, I think, 3 tackles for loss in this game, seemed pretty active and maybe the most playing time he's gotten all season. What'd you think of what you saw out of him?
Deion did a nice job. Deslin didn't play, obviously. You guys saw that. And he got injured during the week in bowl practice down here. He's okay, but, just was risky to put him out there. Was just being safe. And, I know he was disappointed, but when you look at, that's why Deion got more plays, and Deion's going to be an outstanding player for us. He's only going to keep getting better. He's smart, he's athletic, and there's a lot of good football for Deion Hayes in the future.
I don't see any other hands raised. Do we have any final questions for Coach?
Looks like Alan.
Go ahead, Alan Cole and Dan Tortora.
When you have an injury like the one Nick suffered, especially so early in the game, how does that kind of change the environment on the sideline when you're in the middle of that and you've put so much preparation into him? Does it change the mood when it's that early in the game, or is it still just kind of plugging away?
Yeah, I think our kids plugged away. I mean, I don't think they bat an eye. We just didn't get things going. And again, it's tough. It's not easy. But our kids battled. I mean, you look at playing with the 3rd string quarterback, and we took him to the end. And you would love to see what would happen if Nick would have played that whole game, but it's not easy.
Go ahead, Dan, and then Johnny McGonigal.
Coach, just what you can say about Jordan Addison. I mean, he was there with you at ACC kickoff at the beginning of the season. What you saw from him going into the season, and then him all the way through this season, how you've seen him develop. Has he somehow, some way even exceeded your expectations?
I would say so. Jordan Addison's an outstanding player. I mean, I don't know what hasn't been said about him, winning a Biletnikoff. Wish he'd had more than 7 catches. Probably should have got him the ball more. Just couldn't get it to him enough. In the second half, the plan was just to have Davis, hey, look to find number 3 and throw it to him. Let him go make a play. And we started off with a couple drops. I think weren't easy catches, but Jordan had a great game, had a nice reverse, and didn't get our return game going with him. But Jordan Addison is a spectacular football player, and he's going to have a big 22 season as well.
Go ahead, Nick.
Hey, Coach Narduzzi, you guys allowed 5 sacks this year. You guys allowed a lot of pressure. I know there were a lot of moving pieces on the offensive line. Gabe got hurt and everything, but with that whole group, that whole group's coming back next year. They've obviously announced that. What do you say to a group like that where they've had such a great year and then they kind of end this one on a bit of a downer? What can you say for them as they kind of work towards next year?
You know what? Grab probably every one of those guys, and they're disappointed. I don't think they played as good as they needed to, and we'll look at the tape and find out what happened, where it was. But there was a lot of just 4-man pressure. It wasn't a lot of blitzing going on. I don't think a lot of those were 4-man pressures, and we just didn't execute well enough. But they know that, and when you're playing with a second and a third string quarterback, that O-line's got to step up and play better than they did.
Take 2 more, Dalton, and then Craig, and then we'll wrap it up.
Pat, towards the end of the game, you guys had an opportunity to put that game away really on that second to last possession on offense. And then on 3rd down, you guys ran that pitch play. How involved were you in that play call? And would you change your mind if you could?
We can all second guess. It was a check based on, what they were giving us. We could have checked and ran a power play. We flipped what we call flip it out there. And, they played it well. We didn't execute it good enough. And, what are you going to do? And again, I'm not involved in play calls. I don't go second guess, and I don't second guess a play caller. I don't, that's not me. So
Final question for Craig Meyer.
Hey, Pat, there's a report out that Texas is set to hire Brennan Marion. I don't know if as a coach, I was curious if you've been informed of any decision on his part.
No, I haven't. I was focused on, this football team and the guys that want to be with us. When you have good coaches, people are going to come after them, and guys have decisions to make, and whatever he wants to do, I'm good. We'll be fine.
All right, Coach, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
We're joined by quarterback Davis Bevel. If you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll go Johnny McGonigal and then Christopher Carter.
Davis, just I guess talk us through when Nick goes down and you're told that you're going into the game.
It's been my mindset all year just to be ready when my number's called. Obviously, with Kenny not playing, I was a little bit more prepared too. So when he went down, I was 100% ready to go.
Go ahead, Christopher.
Davis, it seemed like Michigan State was throwing a lot of pre-snap movement to try to throw you off. Was there any of that confused you and kind of kept it kind of hidden where the pressure was coming from?
Yeah, they did a couple of different things up front and moving around in the secondary. Using my hands was a big thing tonight, trying to get them to show their hand. But, yeah, they got me a couple times.
We'll go next to Alan Cole and then Craig Meyer.
Coach Narduzzi said the 3rd and 1 toss play on the second to last possession was a check at the line of scrimmage. Can you kind of walk us through what happened there? And did you make a check, or was that the original play call?
That was a call before the check. We got the look we wanted, and they just beat us on that play.
Go ahead, Craig.
Davis, what did you see on that final pass there that resulted in the pick six? Like, was there a guy open there and the defender happened to jump in from your vantage point? How did that all unfold? What were you trying to do on that play?
Yeah, and our empty looks, they mugged up. We put those two backers in the box. He took a step forward, and I thought he was coming. Tried to put it right behind him. He stepped back, made a great play. Give all the credit to him.
Any final questions for Davis? Go ahead, Chris.
I mean, at that point, I think you had completed 5 passes in a row. You guys are moving down the field. You're at the 26. I mean, how did that sort of swing of emotions? I mean, I got to think it was. I mean, you went from feeling like you're going to win the game, right, and it goes to the complete opposite. I mean, can you just tell us about sort of that experience of the swing there?
We talk about it a lot. Never get too high, never get too low. Coach Junko always says, saw that wood, stay in the middle. So that's just kind of what it was. I mean, obviously it's not the outcome we expected or wanted, but I just got to keep my head high and my chin up.
See one more hand raise. We'll give the final question to Christopher.
Davis, what kind of support did you get from your teammates, not only in this game, but throughout the week? Pat told us that you took 80% of the second team snaps. And I saw after the interception, it seemed like you had a lot of guys coming up to you to talk to you afterwards. Seemed to try to pick you up a little bit. What can you say about the teammates and what they've done just in this game and leading up to this?
Yeah, I mean, this team means everything to me. It was definitely disappointing to let those guys down. I mean, we missed some plays here and there, and I'm obviously guilty of it. But my team's great. I couldn't ask for anyone better. Those guys are just awesome to be around, whether it's the locker room, whether it's out and about. But yeah, they showed me love the whole time, and I know I've got their back and they've got mine. So that's it.
All right, thank you, Davis. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, guys.
We're now joined by linebacker Phil Campbell. Please raise your hand if you have a question. Go ahead, Alan.
Hey, Phil. I mean, you guys had an incredible season by pretty much any definition. Obviously not the way you wanted it to finish. Is it tough to feel that right now? I guess what are the kind of emotions wrapping things up in this way?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, but we had a great season. We won the ACC championship. We got, really our goal. We would have liked to finish it obviously much better, but they were, I give them credit. They were a good team. We had some guys go down, and it is what it is. Things like this happen, and I wish we had another game to capitalize on it. But you gotta look at the positive, and this was my last game at Pitt, so it's pretty emotional for me also. But yeah, you just gotta look at the positive. We had a great season.
Go ahead, Christopher, and then Alan.
Phil, I mean, you've seen this defense go through so many changes in your time at Pitt. And this was a game where you guys held them without a score, I think, for over 40 minutes of game time.
Yeah.
Is there any solace for you as a senior that, like, hey, like, this is still something that you can take honor out, and you're not kind of hanging your head after this game?
Actually, when you put it that way, yeah. I mean, it is like impressive what we did. I feel like defense stepped up in a lot of ways today. I can't, we can't point fingers and we can't say, oh, they should have done this better, or they could have ran this play. But all I can do is just look at what my responsibility was and leading the defense, and I think the defense, we showed out. We made mistakes. We had adversity, but I'm proud of everybody, and I'm proud of all of our performance out there.
If you have your hand raised, we'll get to your question, but then we'll cut it off at those four. Go ahead, Alan Cole.
Yeah, Michigan State ran 25 plays in the fourth quarter, had the 2 double-digit play touchdown drives. Could you guys feel yourselves kind of getting tired a little bit, or is that just not something you even notice in the middle of the heat of the game?
I don't think it was tired. I think it was probably just lack of focus in certain areas. We weren't more tired than they were. I just it's rough. Things like that happen. Sometimes coverages get blown, and sometimes they attack our scheme really good, and I'm proud of everybody. Even guys that had touchdowns scored on them. Like you can't look at that one play. You gotta look at the body of work they did throughout the game and throughout the season. And I'm proud of all of them, honestly.
If I could follow on that just quickly, is that like mental fatigue then? If you don't feel like you were physically more tired than them just from defending so many plays?
Yeah, it's probably mental fatigue and focus. Focus is kind of a lot goes into it. It can be distractions like on the field. You cannot like get the call right away, and you can be just trying to look for your assignment, your alignment. Little things like that on the foot. Things happen really fast. During the game. So, I don't think it was physical fatigue, and I'm not sure if it was mental fatigue. I think it was just a lack of focus in certain areas. It could be just having bad eyes. On the coverage or not playing through the hands. Little things like that. It all adds up. Little details add up a lot in the game.
Go ahead, Jerry.
As a senior, Phil, what's your message to the younger guys coming back next season?
I told all the younger guys just keep it going. I've worked. This was my 6th season, so it took a long time for us to get here and to get that ACC championship, and I really just wanted to keep going. That's my biggest thing is I really want Pitt to just keep going up. I want them to be even better than we were.
Go ahead, Nick.
Phil, as you said, this was your last game. You came here in 2016. To see how the program went from when you came here on campus to now the ACC championship, an 11-win season, New Year's 6 1. What are the emotions going through it as you kind of have just played your last game in a Panther uniform?
Yeah, it's very emotional. I was emotional before the game even happened. Just putting on my uniform and just taking it all in, and just being around the guys. Like, it was really emotional. And once I started playing, I was just trying to have fun. Just taking it all in and enjoying every single play. Even when I was tired, I didn't want to come out because it's my last time playing for Pitt. So it's definitely hard. I wish we won the game, but I'm proud. I'm proud of my career. I'm proud of like this team, and I think I could walk away with my head high.
Our last question for Phil will go to Johnny McGonigal.
Yeah, Phil, you mentioned guys going down, Nick Patty being the big one there. When he goes down, you guys realize he's not coming back in. As a defense on the sideline, what's your mentality? Do you feel like as a unit, you guys had to kind of step up and carry the team a bit?
Yeah, I mean, we said, right after that happened, we're like, yeah, we're going to have to score on defense. We're going to have to score on defense. We're going to have to stop them, and we're going to have to win the game on defense. And we said, hey, if they don't score, we win the game, And Cam, he got the fumble, and scored for a touchdown. And, yeah, I mean, things turn around quickly, in good ways and bad ways. And it's just the game of football, and it's a reflection on life also. And I'm just thankful right now at this point. And I'm proud of Patty. I'm proud of Bevel. I think they both stepped up. Bevel, he was on scout team like just a couple of weeks ago, so he really hasn't had any experience. And for him to come in there and do certain things is pretty impressive also. And Patty, he was doing very well. And as a defense, last couple of years, we've always had to be, the unit to step up. And we embraced it again today.
All right, Phil, thank you for your time.
Thank you, guys.
We have 2 more players on standby. Our next guest will be offensive lineman Marcus Meyer. We'll go to Johnny McGonigal and then Christopher Carter for the first two questions.
Yeah, Marcus, I guess when Nick went down after that touchdown, the offensive line as a whole on the sideline there going into that next drive with Davis. I know you've said before it doesn't matter who's back there when you guys are blocking for him, but I guess what was the mentality when you're then protecting what is really a third string quarterback?
When it came down to it, we knew we had to hold up a little bit more. We just had to be better to allow him to have the time to read faster, get things that he needed to get done. But we just knew it was still going to be on our shoulders.
Go ahead, Christopher.
Marcus, you guys allowed 5 sacks in this game. It seemed uncharacteristic for how you guys have played together a lot. What did Michigan State do to confuse you guys or to get after you guys that might have caught you guys a bit off guard?
They're a good team. They're just as good as their top 10 team in the country. So everybody's going to have their good days and their bad days. They just happen to have a good situation for today, and we'll be better next year.
We'll go to Dan Tortora next.
Just what you could say about Davis Bevel stepping up. I know, blocking is blocking and whatnot for your job that you have to do, but what you can say about his leadership, stepping in as a third string quarterback and giving you guys every opportunity to win that game down the stretch.
He put it on his shoulders. He was a leader throughout the whole time. We need to be better for him, but he was able to work with us. We communicated on and off the sideline. So I'm proud of him and his standpoint, and I'm happy that we were able to have him.
Any final question for Marcus? All good then. All right. Thank you for your time, Marcus.
Sorry.
We're now joined by linebacker John Patrician. Please raise your hand if you have a question.
Guys.
Go ahead, Johnny, and then Christopher.
Yeah, Johnny, I guess those last couple drives defensively, did you feel like it was just kind of building for them? I mean, both of them were long drives when they were out there and finishing both the touchdowns.
Yeah, they definitely had momentum. We had confidence in our defense that we could, man up and make a stop to, hopefully win the game. We knew we had to step up for our offense. They were struggling for a little bit, but we got some momentum towards the end of the game. It's a shame that the game ended like that defensively. I felt like we played a really good game up until, the second half of the fourth quarter. So it's disappointing to finish the season that way, but I think we left it all out there.
We'll get to the questions that have hands raised. Go ahead, Christopher, next.
John, you guys have a defense have closed out so many games this year with a lot of big wins, and especially late in the fourth quarter. What was Michigan State doing that was able to get past you guys? Because it seemed like there were some of the passes that were just right through tight coverage that allowed them to kind of get some of those late scores.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, that's ironic you asked that because there were several times throughout the game, I think at least 3 times when I would tell Voss or somebody else that they ran the perfect play call versus the play call that we had on defense. There was especially, I think there was twice in the first half and then once in the fourth quarter where I came off the field saying, dang, that's exactly what we didn't want them to run in that situation. And they ran that. So credit to them and their preparation in that. Sometimes that's just the luck of the draw and the way things work out. But to answer your question, they played a complete game. We weren't sure exactly what to expect, with their running back not being able to play. So, they came out and they threw it and their quarterback had some really good passes. And, sometimes we had really tight coverage and they were able to complete passes just off of a great pass and a great catch. I talked to MJ after the game and told him to keep his head up because it was a great throw and a great catch. And sometimes there's nothing you can do about that. So you live and you learn, and we'll move on.
We'll go next to Craig Meyer and then Dalton Coppola.
Hey, John, I was curious, especially in the late stages of a game when Michigan State keeps converting on third, fourth down, when those things happen over and over, especially in a half where they run almost 50 plays, what sort of effect or cumulative effect does that have on a defense and its psyche, mindset, and even, and I guess even its fatigue level too?
Yeah, that's a great challenge. Not trying to let it affect you as a defense, because there were a couple times, on those last few drives where we had them in 3rd and long, and we'd say to each other on the field, okay, this is our stop. We got to get off the field here. And then they complete, a 3rd and 11 or a 3rd and 12, and they weren't huge plays, but they were chunk plays that they would get right past the sticks. And sometimes it's a sigh after that, like, geez, like that was our opportunity. It's a challenge to really snap and clear and, move on to the next play, especially when we know our team needs a stop. So that can be pretty daunting and challenging as a defense. But, as a older player and as a leader, I feel like that's my job and, some of my teammates' job to, kind of rally the troops and, look forward to the next snap.
We'll take 2 more for John. Go ahead, Dalton.
John, you're a senior. You just wrapped up your Pitt career. You started at Penn State. You came home to Pitt where you grew up. Can you take me through the emotions you're feeling right now? Like even after the loss, like what did this season mean to you?
Someday I'll write a book on all this. People keep telling me to do that. And, within the next few weeks, I'd love to sit down with one of you guys and do an in-depth interview about, everything, the whole journey, the whole process, because I know we've talked about it here and there, but I haven't gotten into any details about the extent of, just my journey and process and, the roller coaster ride that I've been through personally. And, when I came to Pitt, it was really a blind leap of faith. And I felt like that was my calling at the time. And to come home and to, help put this team back on the map, it's really been everything I've ever, dreamed for. But to me, I felt like it was meant to happen. And sometimes, when everything I was going through there, I wasn't sure exactly how it was going to happen, but I had faith and I knew that in my heart that it was going to happen. And so when I had this season like I did, I fully expected that. And the people who believe in me and support me in my small support circle, they expected it. So, I'm so thankful and grateful for all those people that supported me along the way. And, everybody here at Pitt welcomed me with open arms. And I know I said in the past, but I'll forever be hailing at Pitt. I'll forever be grateful and loyal to Pitt. I can't thank Coach Narduzzi enough because he didn't have to take me. He's a man of his word, and I'll forever be loyal to him and a fan of him. I could go on for a long time about this, just everything I've been through, but, it's amazing. Obviously, I wish more than anything we could have won that game tonight and to finish off my Pitt career, with a win. I wanted to win that game so bad for the city, the university, the program. But this program's on the right track, and I'm so excited for, what's in store in the future. But like I said, I can't be more grateful or appreciative of the opportunity and the season we had this year, and I'm really proud to say that I helped put this team back on the map.
I think it would be appropriate to give the final question for John to Jerry.
John, you pretty much said it all, but I was just wondering how difficult it's going to be for you in the coming weeks to put this game behind you, since you had 11 out of 14 really good experiences this year.
Yeah, it's really difficult. Like I said, I wish more than anything we could have finished off with a W. But, if there's anything I learned throughout this process is that adversity is always going to come. And, being positive and positive energy just defeats everything. We can go back and forth about, certain games and things that happened in the past. But, when football was taken away from me for 3 years due to, uncontrollable events, I looked at myself in the mirror and, I learned more about myself. And, adversity is always going to come. And my favorite book is Chop Wood, Carry Water. And, I learned to just keep going. And, the punches are going to come. You got to roll with the punches. And, being positive, the sun's going to rise again tomorrow. And the sun doesn't stop for anybody. So, it's heartbreaking that we lost tonight. I feel bad for my teammates and for my coaches to put so much into this. Like I said, I wish more than anything we could have pulled this out for everybody because I feel like we deserve it. And we played a heck of a game tonight. Everybody played so hard. I'm so proud of everybody. This is a great program and it's definitely on the rise and it's going to stay there. I'm excited for the future for me and for Pitt, and everything's going to work out for everybody. I'm excited.
John, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you,
guys.
John.
Appreciate you all. Thank you.
Our final guest will be linebacker Servassier Dennis. Please raise your hand if you have a question. Thanks for your time, Servassier. We'll go ahead to Dan and then Alan.
Servassier, just what you can say about, being at this level, ACC championship and playing in this New Year's Six game. I know you wanted it to obviously come through with a victory, but just what it says about where Pitt is and reflecting back kind of a second part to this question of your time in Central New York and your come up to where you are today.
Well, for Pitt, it's big, it's huge. Obviously we didn't like the outcome, but just being here is something that's, like I said, big for the program. And like Johnny said earlier, like I hope we're here to stay. We're in a good place. We're ACC champions, and that was just huge for the year. But for me, being a small town kid, it's amazing. Like, this is, to be honest, something that I never thought I'll be, a place that I never thought I'll be. So just being here and taking in the moment, enjoying it is amazing. And I appreciate everyone around me, the program, the university, that helped me get here, and that we climbed here together.
If you have your hand raised, we'll get to your question. We'll take those final three questions, starting with Alan.
When Michigan State's running all these plays in the fourth quarter, I think they ran 25 in the fourth quarter alone. Do you feel as a defense you're kind of getting tired either mentally or physically, or is that just something you don't even notice in the middle of a game?
Yeah, if you prepare well, whether that's game plan and know what they're going to run, or condition wise, you don't notice it. And not a lot of guys noticed it tonight. We just kept our head down and try to fight hard to the end.
Go ahead, Christopher, and then we'll wrap up with Dan.
Hey, Voss, you had such a great season especially with John and Phil, two guys who were super seniors this year, and they knew it was their last ride. What was it like kind of talking with them after this loss? It was a tough loss, but ultimately you guys achieved so much this season, and that has to be just a ball of mixed emotions for you guys as a group to deal with.
Definitely. I love those guys, man, and it breaks my heart that they have to leave. But whether we won or lost, it was going to be emotional with those guys because we formed a family and we've been around each other for so long, enjoyed each other's time, fought because we're brothers, and we just basically bought into each other and show love to each other. So it was very emotional. It was a great talk. There's my brothers for life. I wish down the line someday we still talk. We still go out for if we're older, go out for drinks and just look back on the things we did together as a team and as a unit, and just enjoy each other, because at the end of the day you create bonds, and those bonds, we hope that they're forever.
Go ahead, Dan, with the last question.
Servassier, you said, being a small town kid coming from Syracuse, New York, your alma mater, CBA, just won a state championship. What that means to you to look back on that, and what you can say about Coach Casey Brown and Pat Narduzzi, just these two coaches and their effect on your life.
First off, I want to say congratulations to CBA. That's something I've never done. That's something, that hasn't been done at that school for a long time. So I'm very happy for them. But Coach Brown, amazing guy, amazing coach. He helped me a lot with the development, not only as a player, but as a man. And that goes a long way. At the end of the day, that's what these coaches are here to do. And Coach Narduzzi is doing the same thing, and he's making sure that, I reach my potential in being that man that I want to be, and, the best I could be. So those guys, they they're unbelievable because, you know, being a coach, there's so many kids you have to, you know, be in their lives and try to make sure they reach that potential. And they're just amazing guys and they do it so well.